Does Matt need to? Okay. All right, it's 6:59. I'd like to go ahead and call this meeting to order with a reminder to silence your phones and electronic devices. Also note that this meeting is being audio and video recorded on the school board website. Ms. Williams, can I get a roll call, please?
Yes, Chairman Alexander. Dr. Shante Jones.
Here.
Ms. Stacy Cyberling.
Here.
Ms. Ellen Slobodnik.
Here.
Mr. Michael Cummings.
Here.
Mr. Paul Alexander.
Here.
All are present, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Cummings, would you lead us in a moment of silence as well as the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, do we have any additions or corrections to the agenda?
We have no corrections or additions, Chairman.
All right, thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Oh,
right.
agenda, sorry.
Thank you. All right, motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All right. Moving on to consent agenda. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
All right, motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All right. Moving on to school board member committee reports. The Finance Committee. Ms. Slobodnik, please.
We met earlier before this meeting, and we reviewed the CIP and the finance budget tool that's been created by the Executive Director of Finance, as well as the finance team. And so we're just looking at some things for the upcoming years.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Any questions from the board related to that? All right, okay. So moving on to Superintendent Spotlight and announcements. Superintendent Spotlight, Dr. Saunders.
Good evening, Chairman. I'd like to recognize we've got a lot of people out here today and some great things to recognize in our school division. So Dr. Grosser, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Good evening, Chairman Alexander, members of the board. We are going to start the night off talking about our Manassas Park Elementary School robotics team. You can see them out here. They're very colorful. These guys have been extremely busy over the last few months competing around our division. It has been quite the journey. They had a great time and they had tons of success. With us tonight are their coaches. We have Miss Rupert and Mr. Granger here tonight. And I asked Miss Rupert to come up and kind of tell us all about the journey that these students have had over the past couple months, because I think you're going to find it very impressive. Miss Rupert?
I promised my assistant principal that I wouldn't say kiddos as much as I did last time. Good evening, Chairman Alexander and members of the board. Thank you for granting me the opportunity to present the journey of Manassas Park Elementary School robotics team. This past May, 53 students applied to join the robotics team. These students answered in-depth questions regarding the motivations for joining, their problem-solving approach, thoughts on robot design, and reflections on the core values of the first LEGO League experience, which includes discovery, innovation, inclusion, teamwork, and most importantly, fun. 16 4th and 5th grade students were selected for the MPES robotics team, with 14 being rookies. These students diligently worked throughout the summer with Mr. Jared Granger, give a high five, Mr. Granger, learning coding and programming for their robot. Here we have more kiddos coming in.
You said kiddo.
Oh, whoever's doing the kiddo count, I'm up to 2. Okay, these students diligently worked throughout the summer with Mr. Granger, learning coding and programming for their robot. After the summer school session came to an end, students met every Tuesday and Thursday from 3:30 to 5:30, not only focusing on their robot game, but also on their innovation project. There's a common misunderstanding about the first LEGO League robotics experience. During competition, 4 areas are judged, each carrying 25% of the score. These include the robotic game, what you see like up there in the upper right-hand corner, their innovation project, and their talking about the core values and the robot design. This year's innovation project urged students to contemplate about using technology to inspire participation or explore personal passions. Our students' projects included creating a 3D device for blind students to read comics, GameFlix, a program that merged movies with video games for non-gamers to understand what makes them passionate about gaming, the No Shaker, a thing that aided those who have difficulties with drawing by calming their hands, and finally Fresh Food Plus, an app that assists individuals with disabilities or low-income families in assessing foods and recipes. On October 18th, 2023, our 16 students and their families participated in the first LEGO League regional competition at Osborne Park, competing amongst 36 teams from Northern Virginia. I'm immensely proud of how our students represented Manassas Park, displaying gracious professionalism, respect, responsibility, and a readiness to learn, and of course, their amazing dance moves. Our RoboChef team, the creators of Fresh Food Plus, secured second place for their innovation project, making an exhilarating moment for the entire Manassas Park robotic family. The RoboChefs, which include Gabriela Nix, JD Romero Mayan, Mateo Virgil Jimenez, and Randy Hernandez Cruz, also etched history from Manassas Park Elementary by being the first team to advance to the first LEGO League state competition. Okay, there's more. The RoboChefs continued to practice, fueled by plenty of pretzels from Miss Rupert's snack drawer, until the day of the competition. This team brainstormed codes, generated new ideas, and grew a closely knit family. On this past Saturday, December 9th, we participated in the state competition at James Madison University. I extend a special thanks to Ms. Wolf, Dr. Saunders, Mrs. Mammon, Ms. Raya, Ms. Kelso, Mr. Lyons, and Ms. Hurley for providing us the support to get our students to this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I want you to know that our students will cherish this experience for the rest of their lives. While they may not have brought home a trophy, they did bring back memories of receiving their chef hats and aprons, competing, dining at the dining hall, meeting a real-life chef, and unwinding in the courtyard, and tasting their medals. They thought that was weird, but I thought it was something cool. Even when Chef Linguini, that was their robot's name, didn't execute their code, their positive attitude prevailed. I'm proud to have, and they were proud to make it to the next level. During closing ceremonies, as the director asked about the impact that their coaches had on their lives. We turned around, Mr. Granger and I, and we witnessed 4 kiddos in their chef hats and aprons, proudly raising their hands. Mr. Granger and I offered the guidance for constructing and reconstructing their Lego, and we constructed and reconstructed all of their Lego missions that continued to break. But honestly, looking out in all those tie-dyed shirts, they're the ones who guided the ship. I'm immensely proud of every single student who was part of the 2023 Manassas Park robotics team. Their hard work and dedication was evident, and I eagerly await to see how they will apply their robotic skills in the future. And I also just really want to give a special thank you and shout out to the parents of these kiddos, oh, that's 3, who supported each and every one of these students, because we couldn't have done it without you. So let's give our parents a round of applause.
I've had to bend down before. Yes, that's it. I might actually just get up. I'm just gonna get up and stand. Well, this is awkward to me. Yeah.
They need to,
Right?
they need to make a
It is a big team.
Oh, it's so different on this side.
Welcome to our
I
side.
know.
Right?
Wow.
Bring everybody down.
I'm not sure about that.
My whole family's here, actually.
Yeah, I just saw your mom walk in.
My dad, my sister,
No pressure.
my brother. Who's
Samuel and Angela, come over here.
kind of crazy.
Oh, that's great. I said I'm not. It's cool. You're fine. You're on the internet. It's life. You're like waving up there. Centered.
You're good.
All right, ready guys? 1, 2, 3.
Is that genuine?
Hey, smile for your parents.
I remember like 8.
Did you help her?
Not necessarily. So during summer school, I was just like a floating teacher aide, and one day I got put in there. It was just like, so like when they were learning all the coding and stuff, that's what I was
All right. Thank you, Miss Rupert. You can tell those guys had a lot of fun over the last couple of months.
Beautiful.
All right, next up, we're going to talk about another group of students that's been really busy. You know, we spend a lot of time talking about what our students do inside the classroom, and it's amazing to think about how much they do outside the classroom and that balance of keeping up with all of their academics and their schoolwork, and then still keeping up with all of their passions outside the classroom. So next up, we're going to talk about the Manassas Park High School Marching Band. You'll see there, they had a really busy weekend, the weekend before last. On Saturday, December 2nd, many of our band members participated in the Greater Manassas Christmas Parade in the morning, and then some of them were in the Manassas Park High School production of Clue that afternoon as a matinee, so that as soon as that was over, they could then participate in the Manassas Park Light Parade. So they were marching all day long. Under the direction of band director Molly Berlowski, the Manassas Park High School Band won first place in the Greater Manassas Christmas Parade in the marching band category. In fact, I was going to say they could not join us tonight because they were currently in Manassas City at Jenny Dean Elementary School accepting their trophy, or their, I think you got a trophy, right? For winning that. They had a ceremony tonight at 6 o'clock. So they have just joined us from there. Molly, would you mind coming up and introducing the students and showing off your trophy? And
So I'm joined this evening by our two drum majors. We have Sienna Hargest and Della Thomas, as well as one of our low brass section leaders, Layla Meyer. It's an example of the student leadership and the amazing things that these students can do when given the opportunity to take on those roles. So really, really proud of you guys. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. I really appreciate you. So thanks.
Coming.
One thing we always like to point out is that none of our students could be successful without their parents who brought them here tonight and supported them along the journey, and then also our teachers that show up. I know Molly was out there all day with them as well, and you guys have traveled with these students around the state, and so thank you to them as well. All right, finally tonight, we wanted to highlight that last week in the division, we celebrated and recognized Inclusive Schools Week. Since its inception in 2001, Inclusive Schools Week has celebrated the progress that schools have made in providing a supportive and quality education to an increasingly diverse student population, including students with different disabilities, genders, socioeconomic statuses, cultural heritage, language preference, and other factors. The week also provides an important opportunity for educators, students, and parents to discuss what else needs to be done in order to ensure that all their students continue to improve their abilities and to successfully educate all children. Inclusive Schools Week allows us to take a moment to applaud the progress we've made toward building more inclusive school communities. Under our Director of Special Education, Jen Kiernan, she organized activities throughout the week last week to bring awareness to inclusivity in schools through dress-up days, inspirational messages, and posters in the schools and throughout central office. So there's a few pictures for you guys to enjoy. Even transportation participated in on some of that fun last week. And that concludes our spotlight tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Grosser. Do you have any board comments?
I just have a couple. I just want to say I love the Robo Chef hats. I got to get myself one of those. Absolutely awesome. That looks like so much fun. And congrats to the marching band. I had the pleasure of seeing them in the Greater Manassas Parade. It was definitely well deserved. I wouldn't have thought anything else, you should have gotten first, definitely. So congratulations.
Ms. Lodnick?
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that is here today. Thank you so much for showing all the great things that Manassas Park can do. We really appreciate you. We really appreciate the parents and the whole community coming together so that the students can really shine. So thank you.
Mr. Cummings?
Congratulations, chefs. You guys did awesome. I'm very proud of you. Up to the marching band, you guys rock. I got to see you coming down Manassas Drive. I know y'all were tired, but y'all put it down. Awesome job, and great work with the Inclusive Schools Week.
Miles?
I just want to say to the MPE kids in here, you guys are absolutely amazing. I don't know if you guys remember me, but I was in the class. I was in and out of you guys' summer school classroom. But even when they were putting things together, like coding and stuff, I was blown away. Like, I can't do anything like that. Like, and the amount of intelligence that they have shown at their young age is absolutely incredible. And I really hope you guys keep doing what you're doing. Find other places to do what you love, especially as you go on to the fourth graders as well. Like keep staying in robotics, and then for my fifth graders going into middle school, keep finding avenues to do what you love to do. If this is something that you're passionate about, keep doing it, and that's a really big thing. To my fellow band kids, I'm not a band kid anymore, but I love you guys very much. I wish you guys the best of luck at your concert this week, right? Tomorrow.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
It's a really busy week for the arts, so I do recommend going to support the arts programs at the middle and high schools this week. We all have concerts. But congratulations. Thank you to Mix B for taking direction of this wonderful band. Della, senior year, drum major. Super proud of you. Same thing, Sienna and Layla and all the other band members that are here. I'm super proud of you guys. But yeah, that's all I had to say.
Dr. Jones?
I echo everything that everyone said, and congratulations. Thank you all for participating, being a part, and making Manassas Park shine. The robotics students, you all are amazing. Nothing like this was it even alive when I was in school. So you all are blazing trails and setting the bar. So congratulations, and keep it up. Marching band, congratulations. I know y'all are amazing. So congratulations, and keep doing your best.
Thank you. Crystal?
I want to start off by saying, like, I'm very proud of the robotics team. I was at one of their practices before their regionals competition, and seeing their work and their innovation skills was shocking. Like, you guys are like 10 years old. Like, that's just crazy. I can't do that. And then I went to their states competition, and it was very, very interesting to see how they work and their, like, problem-solving skills when they realize, like, oh, this is not what's working, like, we have to fix this, oh, we have to fix this, oh, this one wasn't, yeah, it was just very interesting to see. It was very cool to see the way their minds work with these robots, and I was very proud of them completing their missions. That was very exciting to watch. And the marching band, yay! I didn't get to see the parade, but I heard a lot about it, and I'm very proud of you guys. You guys always slay so hard. And I'm excited to see the band concert tomorrow, because I know you guys are, like, really good. You guys are just so great. I love you guys. Yeah.
All right. And lastly, again, thank you all for coming in. I wanted to kind of piggyback on Miss Rose for her. Miss Rupert, sorry. Miss Rose was amazing. Yes. Well, it's your face marking. That's where I keep going off of. So, education is more than just 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's these teachers and families are putting in a lot of time and energy outside of the classroom. And I just really want to thank the parents for making education such a priority with your kids, all the extra time they're putting in the summer, and the same to the teachers. There's so much more that people don't realize they're doing in the background. So, huge shout out to the teachers that are here making this happen, because you're selling yourself short, and you do it every day, and you're a blessing to the community, and I really thank you.
Chairman Alexander, could we do one more picture? I want to make sure we got all of our robo chefs and students in the photo. So if you don't mind, could we do one more?
Me too.
I wouldn't want to miss anyone.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I like that hat.
Welcome back.
That would be appropriate for me to catch you. Still don't have it. Tuesday? Something's happening at the middle school tomorrow.
Yeah, that's bad.
Hey guys, all the mics. I can see that.
Hey, down. Okay. Okay, ready? Ready, guys? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Great.
Woo!
Okay.
Let's go ahead and let them.
Yeah, I was going to say, thank you all for coming. Yeah, I know, right?
Thank you.
Bye. Congratulations. Thank you. Great job.
Remember halfway through that, Melissa wants me to start calling on each person for public comments. So that's why I was like, oh, that's why when I first said any, and I was like, crap, I'm supposed to.
The kiddo count was 5. The kiddo count was like 5 or 6.
I was going to say, I think I lost count.
All right.
It's an improvement. I got you.
All right. So moving on, public comments. Ms. Williams, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
No, Madam Chair. No, Chair Alexander. You kept saying it today.
See? So, thank you, ma'am. All right, new business. We're going board policies, first reading. Dr. Saunders.
Yes, Chairman Alexander, just want to provide for you, you can all see in board docs that there are quite a few policies for first reading. As you look at those, I just want to talk for a few minutes about what the work that we have been doing over the last year, the better part of a year. We have been working to transition all of our school board policies from various locations. They were some Google Docs and some other types of things to the location of board docs, which houses all of our agendas for board meetings and also has the ability to house all of our board policies and regulations. And so for the better part of a year, we have been transitioning all of those documents over to board docs. Really, Ms. Delorier, who's here tonight, has been doing the lion's share of that work. Really, she's been doing all of that work. And so we are now at a point where all of the policies are in board docs. We are going to take some time to make sure that they are up to date and that they are in compliance with current VSBA policies. So you are going to see over the next few months that we're bringing quite a few of these policies to the board for you to review. As part of this process, we are also working to develop a process for our executive directors to really lead that work around the policy revisions and to bring that to the board. I would ask the board chairman to consider, I'd like to create a policy committee made up of 2 board members who would, like the finance committee, meet several times a year to really start that process of reviewing the policies and be the sounding board for other board members as we bring those in front of you. Remember, the main priority of the board is setting policy, and so this is an important part of that process. So I do have Ms. Deslauriers here with us, so I'm going to let her talk you through the documents that you see in board docs, so you do know what you're looking at and what you can expect to see over the next couple of months. Ms. Deslauriers?
Good evening, members of the board. In front of you, we are putting forth 54 edited policies to you guys this week. And they are revisions from February and May of this year from VSBA. And so I have included those in our public content, and it goes through all of the ones that you guys will be able to review before our next board meeting to go through. And then we have retired 2 policies because of just if a policy is more edited than 50%, then we will retire it and adopt the new policy. So there are 2 of those, and those are listed for you. And for the revisions, you will see some green and red highlights. And so what green means is that's being added, and the red is being retracted. And so it will take place if you have any other edits that need to go through. At the second reading, you guys will share those out as well.
Thank you, Ms. Deslauriers. Appreciate that. So board members, if you do have any questions on policies or any of those pieces before second reading, you can certainly reach out to any of the executive directors that might be responsible for those, or Ms. Deslauriers, who can get you in the right direction so we can move forward. As I said, we will have another batch of these policies coming in January, February, and then hopefully be in a routine where we are adopting them and reviewing them in line with VSBA. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Second reading is the next meeting, correct? Okay.
Yes, we do have second reading scheduled for, it's actually scheduled for the work session in January. The first meeting in January is a work session, so we will put a consent agenda on the work session and adopt whatever policies are available to put through consent agenda.
So is the plan to put on next month's meeting agenda also the discussion around forming a policy committee?
If the board is in agreement, I would like to add that to the work session to select 2 members of the board, or you can identify 2 members of the board to be part of the policy committee, and I'm happy to meet with them and talk a little bit more about what that process is going to look like.
Anyone on the board have an interest off the top of their head?
I'm a glutton for punishment.
Mr. Cummings willing? Anyone else? I'll do it if no one else will, but I'd more thank you so much. Okay. Yes, thank you. All right,
Perfect.
so there's our 2.
Perfect. Thank you, Chairman.
All right. So, all right, moving on to information technology overview.
Thank you. So, Mr. Lyon, I don't know if you want to do some introductions here and talk a little bit about this before Matt gets up here and shares some information with you all.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Saunders. Tonight, Mr. McCormick is here to present the state of our information technology system. He has a lot of exciting information. We're very fortunate to have him. And no further ado, I'll let Matt do the speaking.
Good evening, Chairman Alexander, board members. This is not my wheelhouse. Just a new warning there. I just wanted to share with you an update and status of the IT in the division. Who we are 6 members. Myself, the director, a network engineer, and the 4 school-based technicians. They're located in each building at the campuses. What we support is not as small as our staff. Starting out with our school-based technicians, they are great. They have a 1,000 to 1 ratio of support. That's simply user devices. That doesn't include all the other stuff they do. That's user devices. So they're first-tier support to all the students and staff. At the high school, along with that, Herson, our technician there, he hosts high school students that do community service at the help desk. They help us out, we help them out. They're great. They get some firsthand experience on tech support. They do a great job. Herson does a great job over there. Along with just supporting the tech support, they also do hardware repair. They repair screens and keyboards and mice pads and everything. So they do actual repair work. Myself, the director, and the network engineer, we oversee all the network components. We oversee the second and third tier support, so if our network technician or our school technicians need support, we help them. This is a partial list. We have 8 VM hosts, 32 servers, VM servers, 122 switches, 312 access points, the firewall, all the infrastructure, the cabling, the fiber and everything. Our filtering system, network filtering, Active Directory services, phone server and maintenance, our backup system, and our network security. That falls on myself and the network engineer mostly. This list is a lot of what takes up our time, but there's plenty more of that I don't want to bore you with. Some of our latest accomplishments, I think the last time I addressed the board was when we were talking about the phone system. We were getting ready to replace our phone system. We replaced all the physical phones and transition from the legacy system to the new VoIP system. That was a successful rollover. Moving from the old building to here was no light lift. That was pretty complicated, but it was pretty smooth transition overall. Lately, we've upgraded our switches, 103 switches in the buildings to accommodate the 10 gig uplinks, and enhanced all of our infrastructure in the buildings with 10 gig capable fiber. At this point, we're using 10 gig, but we laid it to be able to grow. We upgraded all the LED or the projectors at the middle school and elementary school to the LED screens, which gave much better viewing for the students. They were struggling with that. A huge project that's been on the books for a while was a cellular antenna upgrade at the elementary campus. I know that's been a talking point for many years. Appreciate the support of the board to finance that, but that is working well, and that went pretty smooth. The latest system updates that tie into some of the future stuff that we're working on, the firewall updates, the internet filtering system update. I know there's been a lot of talk about uptime, right? So I wanted to throw together some statistics. Since the beginning of the year, 69 instructional days to today, and that's 537 hours of instructional time. 8.98 hours of downtime. is not a great, that's not a good number, but 99.82% uptime. Our goal is industry standard benchmark of 11 nines, right? That's just an industry benchmark that all networks hold that. So we strive for that, and we work hard to try to get that. So our downtime is 0.178%. These numbers were compiled from all the minutes of downtime. Impactful downtime for instructional and productivity. This could be 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 hours at some points. At any location, it could have been the elementary campus, a school, the division. So this is a compilation of all those minutes together of downtime. This wasn't 8 hours of downtime across the division. So that's how we came up with these numbers. I just hate downtime, okay? So while this was all happening, we knew there was an issue, so we identified this issue that was going on. And my network engineer and I, we kind of knew the unforeseen issue, and we were communicating with the vendors and working and analyzing what was going on the network with traffic patterns and the ports. I won't bore you with all the underlying stuff, but we were really looking into it and had a very good idea of what it was, but we couldn't get the solution. And we were talking to the vendor the whole time. At the same time, we were making adjustments as needed on the network, switching out devices and moving around network infrastructure, and we were communicating to the techs at the buildings, instructing them to identify issues, to respond quickly, to minimize what was going on, because we were able to minimize it but not close the deal. And again, at the same time, we're communicating with the vendors, giving them a lot of information, and in the end, they finally took all of our information and our logs and confirmed that it was what we suspected, and it was something in the firmware that was causing it, that was the problem, and they updated the firmware and we're stable. So that's sort of a rundown of what was going on through all these issues. We learn a lot. We try to learn, from things that happen. And one thing that really came out is we need some help, right? We need help in here so that we can be proactive in the things we do and moving forward, because there's just a lot going on, and we need to stay ahead of it all. So we're going to add a position. We initiated the recruitment process. We had interviews last week. So we're going to move forward with that, with a new network engineer to fill in some gaps. We also need a comprehensive evaluation of the network. Again, that kind of ties together some other things, the new firewall and moving forward in the next slide, that we need to identify deeply our traffic and our network fabric, just connections. So we selected a company to conduct a thorough analysis, data analysis, and network structure analysis, so we can make our best choices. And our upcoming projects, this is more a project broken into little projects, but it's a big one. We need to restructure our entire network fabric or connections. I don't want to get too boring, but our first is we're going to take that information we get from the company and the analysis, and we're going to procure the best equipment to fit the needs, and then use those to create the topology design that is going to best fit and work with our system. Once we get all that in place, and then it's just project management, a timeline, because we have a small window in the summer. It seems like a big window, but it's not. We have to be very precise in how we execute things, because you just don't have time for mistakes, and you have to do it, cut it over, and get it done with the least amount of interruption. And that's my presentation. Thanks.
All right. Any board member questions? Ms. Sabodnik? Ms. Simon?
I'll go last.
Okay.
This time, yeah.
Mr. Cummings?
I'm thinking, come back to me.
Dr. Jones? Go for it.
Okay. So I just wanted to add on, when you were talking about all the stuff that you guys do, you also handle a lot of the software too, for any kind of software issues as well? Because you talked a lot about hardware.
Yes.
But I'm assuming you handle a lot of the software.
Yes,
And
we
then also-
work very closely with the instructional team.
Mhm.
Patty Gillum has moved into a new position that has been a huge help, that has closed that gap between the IT and the instruction, and that software part of that, yes.
And for the security, and when you guys do kind of updating as teachers come and go, you're updating and doing a lot of the data maintenance and all of that day to day as well. So I'm just kind of pointing out that I think the breadth of what you guys actually do is definitely beyond that slide, for sure.
Yes.
Okay, so,
But thank you. Yes, it
I just
is,
was
but-
noticing that.
Yeah.
And then, so you were talking about you have a vendor selected. Do we even know like where that falls like within the budget and how much that's going to cost? And because you're talking about in the summer, so I'm assuming it's this budget cycle. Do we have that? And then I know when we do an infrastructure kind of review, the cost can definitely vary greatly depending on what kind of infrastructure changes that we're going to make. Also, the cost of a vendor can vary greatly too.
The projects are.
I'm sorry, I interrupt you, Matt, or I'm sorry. You asked a budget question about the current budget. Yeah, that's part of our CIP. I started to add technology infrastructure upgrades as part of our CIP for the assessment, which is a separate revenue stream than our operating budget for everything else.
Okay, what was budgeted for that? Like, what?
50,000
Every year.
every year.
Okay, so it's all gonna go to him, or for this?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Okay. And then the date of the firmware upgrade, you guys did the firmware upgrade with the vendor. Have you noticed a performance improvement since that upgrade? Yes, significant.
Yes.
Okay.
I've gotten some sleep.
All right, that's great. So what date was that? When was that done? What date was that upgrade done?
I actually did that over Thanksgiving
Okay,
break.
so it's fairly soon. It was fairly recent.
Yeah, the
then.
final firmware upgrade, and I did some other hardware changes over Thanksgiving break, yes. So that was, yeah, we had it in a pretty good place, but we knew it wasn't as stable as we wanted it, and then that's when they came with the
So,
firmware
thank
upgrade,
you
and that was,
for
they
keeping the
confirmed it.
lights on. I know that it's tough, especially since all the computers and all the students rely on network connectivity. I mean, everything's network connectivity, right? That's our lifeline now, right? So thank you very much for keeping the lights on until that was fixed. So thank you.
So how do you feel about hitting the 11.9s? Or do you feel comfortable, like, once are there more things beyond this? Or does this get you to 7 of them? Is this 8 of, like, what's going to get you the most sleep?
There's always something to do, that we want better. I feel comfortable now that we're stable. We have good equipment. Our next move, our project coming up, is going to upgrade our top rings, so that's going to help a lot with stability and security. That's our security is a big one, a big focus. Always, but that's a big part of this project.
Thank you. And you did great. I like your slides. They popped well. We should have you up here every week.
That's a great idea.
All right, thank you, Mr. McCormick. Any other board questions, Mike?
I'm good.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Moving on, upcoming meetings. We have a school board work session Monday the 8th, at 6:59 p.m. in the conference room on the 3rd floor. Then we have a regular school board meeting on January 22nd, 6:59 in board chambers. And do we have any board member comments? Ms. Slobodnik, would you do?
I'm all set. Thank you so much for the presentations tonight.
All right. Ms. Cyberling?
None for me, thanks.
Mr. Cummings?
No, I'm good. Thank you, guys.
Dr. Jones?
I have no comment.
All right. Crystal, you're first.
Okay.
I was gonna make her go first anyway.
What's it called? I have some things about like the past events that we've had and then upcoming events. So November 15th was the BISBA conference. Oh, I had so much fun there. I made so many friends at that student rep thing, and it was very interesting to see the different speakers that we had, and I definitely came back home with a full notepad. I wrote down everything that they were saying. And I kind of wish Miles was there, but it's whatever. It's okay. I definitely had fun by myself. And November 18th was the Manassas Park Elementary School robotics regionals competition. For their innovation project, they got 2nd place, and for the full competition, they got 11th. And they obviously moved on to states. November 18th was also VHSL regionals, and we won 1st at districts and placed 4th at regionals. And we didn't advance to states, which I'm kind of happy about because now I don't gotta go all the way over there. November 30th to November 2nd was the Clue show, and I went the first night. Oh, it was so good. I'm so proud of our theater department, and they did very well with that show. And the way all the characters were portrayed by all these students, it was great. It was absolutely entertaining. December 3rd was our mixed chambers with the legendary Ingramettes at the Hilton Center. That day was so long. We were there for a good 6-7 hours. But, it was definitely an amazing experience. And December 9th was the Robotics States competition. I said this earlier, it was very interesting to see the way these kids' minds worked, especially at such a young age, their innovation and their problem-solving skills and just the way they are. It's just amazing. Tomorrow is December 12th, and that is our winter band concert at the high school. December 14th is the 7th and 8th grade winter choir concert. December 15th is the high school winter choir concert. December 18th, the mixed chambers like choir group. We're going caroling around the schools and here. And December 19th, the band is going around caroling, I guess you could say. But yeah, that's all I have for tonight. Thank you very much.
My turn.
She didn't cover it all?
Crystal forgot about one concert. So on the 19th, there's also a 6th grade choir concert in the evening. It's okay. But one of the biggest things this time of year is definitely our arts programs and our big concerts. So please, whenever you get a chance, please support our arts programs. I've been in the arts program my entire career at Manassas Park, and it's just been so amazing, the people I've met and the different things that I've done. It's just been an amazing experience. And what Crystal failed to say, when I missed VSBA, I'm sorry about that, by the way. I was in Richmond with another fellow student. We were at the Virginia Music Educators Senior Honors Choir. So that was also an amazing experience. Our director was amazing. Dr. Amanda Quist from the University of Miami. She was great. Singing with 132 singers from all across the state was just an amazing experience. And we learned 7 songs in the span of 2 days, which is absolutely insane at the level that music was at. I think it was really cool. Well, it is basketball season, but I know the boys basketball team has 4 home games coming up.
Swim.
It is also swim and wrestling. Am I missing a sport?
Indoor track.
Indoor track. Thank you. I do not have the schedules for them. I suggest you guys look on. I think we switched to an app. I forgot what it was called. If you cannot find that, please contact Ms. Cat or Mr. Rodriguez, who are currently the assistant ADs. They probably have the schedule. Or contact your child's coaches. This Wednesday and Thursday, we have home games at 7 p.m. The boys basketball team does. And then next week on Monday and Wednesday, we also have home games at 7 p.m. Good luck to our Gov School kids, who I believe are taking finals this week. And I ask that you stay safe over holiday break. I know that's coming up. Happy holidays to everyone. And please remember that on the 20th, we do have early dismissal, if I'm not mistaken. Okay.
I think our football coach is being recognized in January at the football game, right? Isn't he? I thought it was the Cowboys, the Cowboys Redskins game in January. Commanders, so sorry. Oh my gosh. Commanders, I don't watch football, so I don't keep up.
But I think that's all I have, so yeah.
Do you want to confirm that date?
I don't have the exact date, but
Oh, thank you.
it is in January. We'll make sure, I'm sure it'll get out there in
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah, it's before we have our, I think it's before our next work session. That's why I wanted to make sure that we mention it. It's kind of a big deal.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Lastly, happy holidays to everyone, especially all of you guys. Thank you for joining us this wonderful evening. And if there are no other comments,
I got one. I got a confirmation on the date. It's on January 7th.
Awesome.
Right?
All right, so the Sunday right before our next meeting, so it is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, no other comments. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.
You love that. Look at that.
I love that gavel.
Did you
Thank you all.
hit it? I didn't hear
Have a
it.
wonderful holiday.
He hit it lightly.
Yeah,
It's at-
Chairman
Enjoy.
Alexander, I didn't hear that gavel, so.
Don't break it.
Thank you.
Is this thing on? Didn't even-
Is now.
Always.
This is why I
Hey, Melissa, how did that,
Hit harder.
How did that meeting go with that licensing, that alternative licensing company?
Hey, Kara.
Well,